here, so you can expect the second highest salary. So no one, I hope they won't question you third highest salary. So if they will ask you the third highest salary, then it is where salary not in, select max salary from employee. Thing we missed, max salary from employee where salary not in. This one bracket. Okay, this is how you'll get it. So here select max salary from employee. So this, by executing this statement, so you will get the highest salary, right? So you can specify where salary not in, and again you can copy and paste it the same query. Select star from max salary from employee. Okay, so you will get the second highest salary. So if we need third highest salary, then you can make it as it is where salary not in, and use the same select statement. Okay, select max salary from employee. That's it. Okay. So you will get average salaries from location wise. This is, you will get second highest salary. So ideally this third one it won't ask. Third highest salary. Okay, so any questions here? No questions? Okay, then if no questions, then we will close the session today. So from Monday we will start Snowflake admin. So if you guys having any doubts, clarifications, then we'll discuss it now. Otherwise, we can close the session. Okay, I'm assuming no one having any questions. Then
I'm Mahesh.
yeah.
Someone shared some interview questions in group. So if you have time, we can discuss that one.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I will share to. I will try to share here. Just a moment. I will share.
Yeah. And here, this is not the shape. Okay, let it be. So this is the snowflake. Okay, so here in between it will be a ETL tool. Okay, so it could be anything. So here if you go to the partner connect, so these are the third party tools. You can use any third party tools. Okay. So using ETL tool, what it will do is this ETL tool is a kind of a middleware. Okay, or it can be a data pumping. Okay, and this is the databases, right? Okay, from the Oracle people, what they will do is they will extract the data. So before extracting the data, so they have to investigate number of database, number of tables, number of views, and number of reports, number of dashboards, etc. They has to investigate first. So they has to dig into the system and they has to verify it in case if there is any jobs running, the jobs, everything they has to investigate. Okay, so and by looking at this, they will get an idea. So what are the around volume of the data? So it is highly difficult the exact volume of the data which is maintained in these databases. Approximately on an average, people will get to know this is the volume of the data. Okay, and another thing also what we have to observe here is, so the end user they can't log into Oracle, Mango, Teradata, etc. Right? So they having a separate tools. So either it is a Tableau or Power BI or whatever it is. Okay. So those visual tools they will use it, or this is one way. Or if they just want to look and feel of the data, then they can use some of the web browsers which is designed with the help of JavaScripts. Okay, so that also they can view it. So what are the that is just a kind of viewing, or if they are trying to performing any operations from the front end. So that also we have to check with the consumers. Okay, so once this is identified, and they will this architect people and the plant owners they will discuss and they will decide it. So this many resources required, Snowflake developers, this many developers required, and this many Snowflake admin peoples required, and whether this database which are using by the organizations, whether these organizations they are going ahead with AWS or Azure or GCP. So based on that, so we have to decide it, and which edition they are using. Either it is enterprise edition or business critical edition or the complete virtual private Snowflake edition. Okay, so based on that, they will decide and they will maintain the resource allocation. Accordingly, they will hire the people from the market. Okay, so this is the old database, right? Already people having already people are working in these areas, right? So what they will do is they will extract the data separately, and they will inject to the ETL tools. So these are dedicated ETL developers. They will pull the data from this table, from these databases, and from the ETL. So here and from here, from the ETL, in case if required file conversion, they will do file conversion in ETL, and they will load from ETL to AWS, either AWS or Azure or GCP. Okay. Any one external stages, it will be loaded. So that's it. So this ETL developers work is they will get the data from these databases, and if required, they will do some file conversions and they will load into AWS. That's it. Their work is done. And as a Snowflake admin, what we will do is we will get the file from Azure or AWS or GCP to Snowflake. So either we can load files manually, bulkily, automatically, or by scheduling jobs with the help of task. So however you want, you can load it. Okay, so this is how it will be. In case if it is SAP. So SAP, I'll just give overview about SAP. So SAP is a very costliest software in the world even till today, and a few of the features and especially in the manufacturing sector, SAP will use 100%. Okay, so the only drawback in SAP is cost and the hardware setup. So if the organization want to go for the higher hardware setup, then imagine, so I'll give one live example so that you'll get one idea. So in 2017, in 2018, somewhere in 2019, uh, we got a proposal from the Mercedes-Benz saying that so they want to go for SAP S4 HANA. Okay, so for that, the high-level architect people they will start injecting and investigating the Mercedes-Benz SAP systems. Okay, so you may get an idea, right? So whoever having experience, industry experience, the production system hardly may have one or two. But in Mercedes-Benz, production systems having more than 50 plus production systems, which is highly, it is really difficult. In landscape understanding itself in Mercedes, it will take 3 months time to understand. Okay, so the deployment is very really difficult. So I'm not talking about the workways for understanding the landscapes itself. Okay, so that is the very huge company in the worldwide in terms of the automobile industry. Okay, so they are in 2018 till 2018, even till today also, still they are using SAP ECC. So they want to upgrade from ECC to S4 HANA. The cost which is given by the estimation given by SAP Labs from the Germany is 2 billion euros for S4 HANA landscapes. I'll just give you 2 billion euros to INR. So you just count it. So how many crores it is for S4 HANA landscape setup, hardware setup. So I'll just try to count it. 176 crores, somewhere around 176 crores they are charging for S4 HANA hardware setup. For company, it doesn't matter for the company. Okay, but the problem is, as experts, they said, okay, we are ready to invest this amount, but after 5 years or 10 years, so what will happen? These servers may get outdated. So after that, again they have to invest a lot of money for hardware setup. So that's where they come up with the cloud platform slowly. Okay, so that's where they pitch into the clouds platform and they'll start slowly utilizing that. Okay, so one wrap up from the entire Europe country is, if you are sharing the reports in a daily or weekly basis to them, okay, somewhere here you maintained in red color last 5 years. Okay, so now you just changed, instead of this place, you change to this green color. For this small change color also, for understanding them itself, it will take a lot of time, and you have to investigate and we have to justify to them and trying to understand them. So it is not easily, they won't agree it for a color change. Imagine about the process change functionality. Okay, so this is how any organization, if you take from Europe countries, they will be like that only. So they can't easily accept the change. Okay, And coming to the point here is, so how SAP database is different. So from SAP, so we should have a dedicated developers in SAP. So in SAP, the same database tables, views, reports, dashboards, jobs, and here we will get extra interfaces, baddies, idocs, and lot of things will come into this picture in SAP. So here the middleware, it will be something like will be a Brightflow tool or HRV. So this tool. Okay, so from SAP it will extract the data and it will send it to Brightflow tool or HRV. Here the file conversion will done, and from here it will get loaded into this AWS or Azure or GCP. From here, as it is, it will get loaded into Snowflake database. Okay, so here ETL tool like Informatica, Kafka, Firehose tool, we will use it here, but here it will not be recommended. Okay, the amount which you are the organization which is spending in SAP, like 10% is sufficient to load the data into Snowflake database. Rest 90% of the data they can invest on in different business sectors. So that's why the slowly organizations they come up with the cloud platforms. Okay. And the next question, how you are convert the JSON files to lateral pattern structure. So lateral pattern structure won't supported by Snowflake. Okay, so here in case if there is any lateral pattern structures, well, those file patterns has to convert to JSON file formats. Okay, so there will be some tools. So the tool what we will do is we will just load the data, and whichever the format you want to convert it, you can convert it. That's it. So few clicks only. So how you will convert Word to PDF to Word in online, it is more or less the same online, but those are licensed versions. Okay. And the fourth one is how to validate the data after loading into Snowflake from AWS S3. So here the question is, we are extracting the data from Snowflake to AWS, or okay, from AWS S3. From the bucket we are loading the file into Snowflake database. So once the file get loaded, so how you can validate is by once you execute the copy command, you will get to know, right? So whether the file is get loaded or not. If it is the status, it is getting loaded, which means the complete file get loaded. Even one record missed, it will get updated as partially updated, and how many rows passed and how many rows failed. Okay, so if you want to dig into the detail, you can copy the query ID and you can write the select star from table, validate table name, comma, job ID equal to, you can make it single quotation query ID. So by executing that, so you will get to know what are the rejected records. Okay, so that you can confirm that. And the next question is how oftenly to get the requirement. So this we cannot confirm. It is completely based on organization to organization. So question is how you can find out the duplicate in the table, identify and delete those duplicates. So this we already discussed in long classes. So how you can delete the duplicate records? So by writing select a distinct star from table name. So you will get all the duplicate records. Unique records you will get it. So these unique records will move into one table. Okay, that table having unique records. So I hope
Clustering.
clustering. Not here. I think we removed, I guess. Okay, so it is very simple. Okay, I'll just write it here. Select distinct star from table name EMP. So by executing this, you will get the unique records. So here you can create or replace table name temp underscore EMP. So by executing this statement, what will happen is this is the main table, right? In this table, whatever we want to delete the duplicate records, right? So by executing this statement, so it will this select statement it will pull only unique records. Those unique records automatically placed into the table temp underscore EMP. Okay. So now you can either you can clone it or you can swap it. Okay, and this table you can delete it. So this is how it will be to remove the duplicate entries. And the next question is table A has 3 rows and table B has 2 rows, and how to join them. So we already discussed it today. And warehouse morning using high during the usage is less. Warehouse morning using high during usage is less. Okay, so the question is we having less data and they are using large warehouse, so it is not at all suggestible. So we always go for till 10 millions, 20 millions, 30 millions records also. Still we can go ahead for extra small warehouse only, and you can increase the maximum clusters up to 10. So that is more than sufficient. No need to go and choose manually large warehouse, because if you go for larger warehouse, those many servers running continuously in the background, and accordingly it will charge for us. Okay. How will you identify which warehouse is high? Then if you have 50 records, then another table has 5 million records. How to override the inner join command? So this is if the requirement come from the consumer saying that we having different data, one table having quotation and another table having orders. So if the consumer want for each quotation what is the order, so whatever we request for quotation, so that is successful, and they go ahead with the approvals. Once they will get the approval, then they will place the order. So now the user want for the requester number and order number. So that case these two tables has to be apply in a join. Okay, whatever the join it is. So here it doesn't matter so how many records are available in the table. Even both each table having million records and one table having 50 records or 10 records, we have to apply it. Okay, so we can't skip these steps because we are clubbing two table and trying to pulling the matched records, right? So ideally in the real time, one table having some million records and another table having 50 records, ideally they won't go ahead for joins. Okay, so for 50 records, no organization having a 50 records data. Okay, so here the point here is if this scenario is come in the real time, it is not suggestible. Okay, can I customize the time travel? Yes, we can customize the time travel. So how many days we want to set for the retention period for the particular table, we can set it. So from 1 to 90 days, we can set it whichever how many days you are comfortable. But in the real time, it is purely we have to have a word with the consumers how many days we want to travel back. So for that, so if you set for time travel for 5 days, 10 days, accordingly the price may vary it. Okay, so keep the cost in mind and discuss with the consumers, and later you can apply how many days, maximum 90 days you can apply. Okay, so how many tables in Snowflake? So we already discussed table types, permanent table, transient table, and temporary table. So the difference between these three is permanent table by default time travel and failsafe feature is enabled, and for transient table time travel feature by default it will enable but no failsafe, and the temporary table having no time travel, no failsafe, and not even possible to access the data from one worksheet to another worksheet. Okay, so what is the command used to customize the time travel? So either we can go ahead for offset and before statement. Before statement is before clause is something like we have to we need the query ID. Okay, so offset class is basically we will specify the time, how many hours or how many minutes we want to travel back, and the last one is timestamp. So by specifying the timestamp, which means which date you want to go. So by specifying the timestamp, you can. Okay, these three are the possible ways. Where to define a time travel statement and how to get the statement. So this is where to define the time travel in the sense we are setting the number of days, which means alter table name, set data retention time in days equal to, you can specify the number of days, 5 days, 10 days, 90 days, whatever it is. That is defining the time travel. And how to get the statement in a sense. So whatever the operations which you are performing on the table, either insertion, deletion, updation, or whatever it is, and if you perform wrong operations on those table and after a few days you realized I should not supposed to perform on operations on those days, so you can go and get it, you can travel back and you can get it. So here the statement, it is moreover 14th question and 13th question, moreover it is similar only. Okay, same questions only. So either you can get it offset before timestamp, these three types. And what is the failsafe option in Snowflake? Failsafe is something like, so in other databases, if they are trying to deleting, updating, reversing, canceling, whatever it is, So these operations, whenever it is performing in the live server, so the complete data they will back up into the backup server, which is backup by the backup team. So backup team, they will take the backup of the data from main server to backup server. So this will not be in a daily basis. This will be in weekly at once, because unnecessarily the backup server is hitting to the main server, and sometimes the main server may go down. Okay, only if there is no button on the main server, that time only the backup server will connect to the main server. So most of the cases this will happens in midnight only. Okay, even in the weekends, midnight only it will happens, not in a daily basis. It is not recommendable. Okay, and no one will agree for that. Okay, so here manually people are maintaining, managing all the activities, but in Snowflake, so you do whatever you want in Snowflake, so that automatically takes the backups of the data by Snowflake. So this concept is called failsafe, which means you apply a time trial for the table 90 days. So you deleted, you updated the data, it will be backed up until 90 days. After 90 days, what will happen is the data will automatically go and get recorded in failsafe automatically. So no need to worry about that. After 90 days, as a Snowflake developer or a Snowflake admin, we cannot get the data after crossing a time trial. So still if we need the data, so we have to connect to Snowflake support team to get the data which is get recorded in failsafe. Okay, so we don't have permissions to go and get it the data. So only Snowflake support team will help us. For that, they will charge a bit extra. Okay, so in Snowflake, you don't have a primary key, and how? So this question is insufficient. Okay, so I understand the question. In Snowflake, we don't have primary key, right? Yes, in Snowflake, we don't have a concept called a primary key, foreign key indexes. So that's why this is working very fast when you compare to other databases. So here, even if you apply a primary key on Snowflake, it is just for our reference only. It will allow you to load the data n number of times, which means duplicate records will be allowed by Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake itself is a blob storage. It will only overwrite the file. It will not be replace the record, or it won't replace the file. Clear? Any doubts? Any questions, guys?
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys collect this interview questions, it is really helpful you guys wherever you guys are not able to understand, so we will discuss in the class.